Alrighty guys, so what is going on? Chris here, and welcome to another reaction video. Today we're reacting to a infographic show video, and it's called What It's Actually Like to Have the Coronavirus, COVID-19. Now, unless you live under a fucking rock, you definitely know what the fuck the coronavirus is, and you know that there's around almost 200,000 people, I believe, infected right now, and 2,000 deaths. So, in some cases in America. So, I want to know what happens if I actually get the coronavirus.
That means there's 1 out of 10 people infected fucking gets murked.
I've been following the corona. I'm going to talk a little bit before I start this video because I know a lot about the coronavirus because I've been following it. One, if you don't know this, you're going to be very surprised about it. If you have the coronavirus, you might not know it. You might not know it for a certain amount of time because once it enters your system, you actually don't start developing symptoms until 2 weeks.
It's a 2-week incubation period.
This is a very smart virus because in a game called Pandemic or some shit like that, I don't know. Yeah. It's on the Play Store. Like you can literally make it so your diseases don't start killing people until they affect a lot.
Yeah, you can make it super fucking infectious, and then wait to make it super fucking lethal.
It seems like that's what it did, and it seems like there's already 200,000 cases. It says it's on the decline right now, but already 200,000 cases seems like a lot. And it seems like they said that Chinese government were denying U.S. aid for a while, and they said that citizens were criticizing them for the way they were handling the outbreak.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell us how many deaths went on in Beijing. We couldn't get an accurate death count, and now they're talking about the press is piping what's going on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start this video now. I want to see what it's like. Before I do that, the one thing I wanted to say that I just remembered was I've been following it, so I read all the deaths. I haven't seen every death, every name and shit, but it seems like every death that the news and the media is reporting is that everybody seems to be old. It seems like if you're healthy and you're young, it seems like you might be able to survive this, but if you're old, you might need to watch out if you have it in the U.S.
But we won't find out.
We will find out. Sorry, I'll answer that after this.
It's Christmas time, and instead of spending time with friends and family, you decide that you're overdue for some travel. Instead of visiting grandma or going home for Christmas dinner, just so you can get into political fights with your drunk libertarian uncle, you decide that this year you're taking a me holiday and book yourself a plane ticket to the heart of China. On your way there, you end up missing the heart by a few thousand kilometers, and instead end up in Wuhan. But hey, it's a new place, a foreign culture, and it's all very exciting anyway. Eager to dive into the local Chinese culture, you hop out of your plane and head to the first place you've read about, the Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market. Upon arriving, you notice 2 things. The place sells a whole lot of land animals for it to be called a seafood market, and most of those animals are very much alive. In fact, the entire thing is rather macabre and definitely depressing. You find everything from porcupines to bats, and even wolves just sitting in cages next to freshly skinned corpses of what you can only assume were their former compatriots. You very quickly decide to end your visit, realizing you've walked head-on into an animal cruelty nightmare. And as you quickly leave the market, you decide that you really need to think your sightseeing through a little bit more. China is one of the earliest human civilizations. There's plenty of cultural wonders to see elsewhere. On the way out of the market, though, that's when you spot a snake slithering along the ground, except it doesn't look quite right. Suddenly the snake stops and starts acting.
Okay, I know why he's talking about snakes. They believe that how the disease first infected humans was through snakes.
It transferred.
Snakes and birds.
That goes to show you how complex this disease is, because normal diseases, I've taken anatomy and I've also played the fucking game Pandemic he's talking about, can't cross like species barriers like that. They don't. It doesn't have that makeup.
That's why.
In order for it to do that, it has to be an extremely complex virus,
or just extremely rare, like an extremely rare chance. Because I know that some people can get like mad cow disease, but they're really not supposed to because it can transfer sometimes.
Coughing, and you realize, OMG, that snake is choking. A crowd gathers around the poor choking snake, nobody knowing what to do. Luckily for you, though, you just got your CPR certification for your new, totally not depressing job as a mall guard. You're Johnny on the spot and leap to the snake's help. Out of the way, you cry out, shouting your CPR credentials as you shove the crowd aside. The snake is gasping now. It's almost over. You flip the snake on its belly, though, and start doing compressions, humming to yourself the tune to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Exactly as you've been trained. This is it. This is your moment. You check the airway and you realize there's no obstruction. The snake isn't choking. It's dying. Not on your watch. You didn't take a 12-hour course to earn the coveted mall guard badge in your pocket for nothing. You pry open that snake's mouth and start giving it breaths, quickly followed by more compressions. You continue the cycle of breaths and compressions, working up a fierce sweat. Live, you snake bastard, live, you cry out. Suddenly, the snake coughs, sputters, and opens its eyes. It's alive. Tears of joy flood down your cheeks. The crowd cheers. A pretty lady faints. You've done it. You saved this snake's life. With deep gratitude in its eyes, the snake looks up at you and whispers, just faintly enough that only you can hear. One day, when you need me the most, I promise I'll be there. You leave that market a hero. And hey, you've made a snake friend for life now. Thinking back on that poor snake, you wish him well and go about your trip. It's time to head to some proper tourist destinations and have a blast in China. The whole time, though, something is seriously wrong with you, and you don't even have the slightest clue. Deep in the cells of your body, an invader has taken root. Unknown to you, as you were saving that snake's life, it was passing on to you a deadly coronavirus, one of the few that are transmissible between man and animal. Even worse for you, though, is that this is a brand new strain of virus, and one that the world is completely unprepared for. The virus inside of you is a stealth assassin. It has one job in its short life, to make as many of itself as possible, and then spread its brethren to other hosts. But it can't get caught, so it's going to remain undetected. You show no symptoms. You feel perfectly fine. You're a snake hero after all. But the entire time the deadly virus within you is busy working. You're slowly dying from the inside and you don't even realize it at all. First, the virus infects healthy cells, inserting genetic code into the cell that forces it to start mass producing other copies of the virus.
Damn,
This
bro. Why do you have to come up behind him like that, bro? He's like raping that cell. Cells, viruses just rape themselves.
Energy, and when it's spent up, masses of new viruses burst out of the shriveled up, spent cell, like xenomorphs bursting out of wayward space marine chests. Your body fights back, calling in white blood cells, the heavy hitters of your immune system. The white blood cells are tough, but the virus is even tougher, and unlucky for them, they've never seen anything like this virus before. Normally, white blood cells would call for help from antibodies, but your body has no idea what antibodies to even send. This new virus is like nothing it's ever faced before. Your white blood cells are helpless to stop the infection from growing, and soon you are so filled with the virus that you're infectious. Every time you wipe your snot, cough in your hand, or lick a stranger's plate, you're leaving behind a deadly virus. And the worst part is you're completely unaware. You show no symptoms whatsoever. No serious cough, no fever, no headache, no fatigue, nothing. You continue your trip through China, not washing your hands after digging for gold in your nose, licking every doorknob you come across because, hey, you're on vacation, anything goes, and the entire time you're leaving behind traces of the deadly virus in your veins. 2 weeks later, you're finally on your way home. As you board the plane, you feel a little bit fatigued, but hey, you just spent your entire Christmas traveling through the exotic Orient. You're probably just bushed. You look forward to a nice few days at home before returning to the daily
this shit was
and pass the time on a long flight home.
He done
you get
fucked
into a
everything
coughing
on
fight
this
with
plane.
the kid in front of you. You're both having so much fun that soon the other passengers get in on it. Pretty quickly, the whole plane is laughing and having a good time with an old-fashioned cough fight. Everyone doing their best to cough as hard as they can in each other's face. A few days later, you're showing up to your first day at your exciting new mall guard job. But you don't feel so well. You got a headache and you're developing a nasty cough. Well, you did just
that in itself right there. That's how 200,000 people got affected. This right there.
You ignore the symptoms and take to your duties as the first, last, and only line of defense against shoplifters and Karens who complain about their expired coupons not being accepted. You've got a runny nose by now, but no big deal. You make sure to wipe away the boogers every time you have to give CPR or shake someone's hand. You know you really should be washing your hands frequently, especially since you've been coughing and sneezing into them a whole lot lately. But hey, the life of a malt guard is a high-stakes, high-pressure gambit, and malt crime doesn't take any breaks, so neither can you. At the end of your first week on the job, you definitely aren't feeling well at all. Your cough has gotten pretty severe, so bad it's starting to hurt when you cough. You've got a full-blown fever, and your uniform sleeve is practically dripping with all the mucus you wiped on it through the course of your day. Plus, people are starting
Don't
to
you
complain
give
that
that
their CPR
motherfucker
tastes
CPR.
like snot. You know you
Yeah.
have to ask for some sick time off, even though it's not really a good look for someone who's literally just started their job. Your
Yeah.
boss agrees. The CPR snot complaints have reached his desk. Take some time off, kid. You can't fight all the time. Let's try your best. Your grizzled veteran of a boss says in between bites of food court and express orange chicken. As you get home, though, your vision starts to swing. Your fever is spiking, and you're pretty sure you could cook an egg on your forehead. You drag yourself to the hospital, and as you walk into the emergency room, you collapse in the lobby. When you wake up, you're laying in a hospital bed with an IV in your arms, dripping fluids in your body. The virus has put your body into overdrive, and you're pretty dehydrated. You've been given various cough suppressants and medications for your fever, but they're barely doing anything. To your alarm, on the second day of your stay, the doctor comes into your room wearing a full-body plastic suit that exposes only his face, which is itself covered by a surgical mask. They wrap your bed in a plastic sheet as the doctor informs you that you've been diagnosed with something strange, a coronavirus they've never encountered before. Given your state, the doctors fear that you've infected many of the medical staff, and so they've been quarantined as well in the hospital's other
Yep,
rooms.
I knew
Your
that.
condition worsens by the day. The virus is replicating completely out of control now. What started off as one little hitchhiker has turned into billions upon
Viruses
billions of
fucking
copies. A man
multiply
enters your
way
room with
faster than
full-body
normal cells. That's why
contamination.
cancer
He
kills
sits by
so
your bed
fast.
and
Because
identifies
all it
himself
is
as working for
effectively
the
is a lump of cells in your body that just destroys it from the inside out. They multiply like fucking thousands of times faster. So like, say a normal cell division cycle, in like 3 hours, you might have like around 6,000 cells created. With a disease or cancer, that number is like multiplied by like a fucking thousand. You might have like 6,000 cells of that one virus just flooding your body.
That's second. But yeah, he talked about quarantine and that hospital. There are probably a lot of hospitals in quarantine right now, but the biggest thing that people are concerned about in quarantine is there's a huge ship off of
Japan.
the U.S. coast.
Oh,
The U.S. coast, yeah. There's a huge ship that's quarantined in the U.S. because somebody was diagnosed with the coronavirus on there, so nobody can go.
Because there's one in Japan that's keeping the yacht off his shores for 2 weeks, and to see who has it. And in that time, they're just gonna infect everybody else on the ship. But one off the U.S. coast, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right. It might be Japan, but everything I'm pretty sure I'm reading says the U.S. Because what I'm hearing is a cruise ship, not a yacht. So.
For disease control and prevention. The CDC is America's frontline defense against disease, even though they forgot to add the P from prevention to their acronym. There's no time for that, the man says as you point out that fact. He has to know where you picked up this strange virus, and who you may have been in contact with that can now be infected. Reluctantly, you start back at the beginning, telling him about your impromptu trip to China's Wuhan. You tell him about the seafood market that definitely
fuck his family and went to China.
You tell him about the dying snake and the CPR he administered. You tell him about the giant conflict.
Every time you talk, you're like, you stupid
The man
fuck.
pats your hand. That was a brave thing you did, giving CPR to that snake. But we're afraid that you've been infected by an animal-borne coronavirus. The snake you said, it passed it on to you. Then the government man leaves you, scurrying to track down every member of your flight back home from China. By now, the disease could be anywhere and everywhere, and completely undetectable until its sufferers start showing symptoms. Over the course of the next few days, you deteriorate even further. Breathing becomes more than painful, it becomes difficult. Your parents come to visit you, as does the rest of your family. Everyone knows the end is near. Your siblings lean in and kiss you on the cheek through the surgical masks they wear. Even your libertarian uncle shows up, tears in his eyes. He leans in and gives you a kiss on the cheek one last time, whispering reassuringly in your ear, "Taxes, just a little that." Your body can't function properly anymore. The virus has saturated all of its systems to the point that basic functions begin shutting down. Much like an over-consuming humanity, viruses have no sense of self-control.
Systematic
organ failure
failure
is completely out of control until the host dies from the burden of the virus within, like the Earth, but with people. The light is fading now, and in your final moments you think back to that snake you saved. You remember its parting words to you. One day, when you need me most, I promise I'll be there. Suddenly you hear a slight hiss, and hope floods your body as you barely manage
get
to lean up
hallucinated.
just slightly and look around your room. But it's the hiss of your air conditioning unit cooling down. As the light fades completely, you think to yourself, man, that snake on me. As your supervisor shows up along with several of your coworkers, using Dick's Sporting Goods air rifles, you're given a 21 gun salute. With somber purpose, your supervisor stands at attention before your greeting mother, handing her a folded Spencer's Band t-shirt. The official flag once again. We bet you're probably in the mood for something a little bit happier, so why not take this video over here?
Right.
Or maybe you'd rather...
Oh, wait, guys. Well, apparently, so in like after you start developing symptoms in like 1 to 2 weeks, you'll be dead. So that's pretty scary. But I almost broke my ankle today, guys, on a bike. I got a bike. But I'll tell you a story about bikes later. Once I use the bike enough. There's a bro. I want you to record me. We should do that, bro. There's a fucking place where you can ride bikes. I already told you about that shit. The skate park. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Notification bell, leave some suggestions in the comments. Peace.